So here's another short about something else that I enjoy doing outside of mental health. And I actually started doing this for my mental health. While I was working as a bagger, getting carts um, at a grocery store, while that was my first job, there was a rule that you can't listen to like your phone or MP3 player or anything like that while you're out in the parking lot for safety reasons. But that job requires a lot of energy, especially when it's cold or when it's raining. And so I decided that, hey, they made a rule that I can't listen to electronic music, but they didn't say anything about me not being able to sing. So I started singing in order to keep my spirits up and to keep my energy up while I was doing that work that, nobody else wanted to do. Um, and started really liking being outside and doing that work as a result. But yeah, singing is something that I've really enjoyed. I enjoy music just in general. But there are a couple of things, well, three things that I learned during that time that helped my singing a ton. And so I want to pass those on to you right now. First is get loud, be loud. One of the biggest problems that a lot of people have with singing is that they hold their breath, they hold their vocal cords tight, and it kind of feels like you're choking a little bit. Um, Trying to be quiet, or being quiet. And one of the things that you've got to get used to is not singing like this, because you're going to have all kinds of problems. You're fighting your own breath and your own vocal cords. Your vocal cords create sound by vibrating as you breathe out. And you can learn to contract your vocal cords in certain ways that create certain different sounds. But the breathing is so super important there. And if you want to be able to hit some of those higher notes, or you want to be able to get the flow, get the pitches that you want, and be able to get the kind of rhythm that you want, you're gonna have to let more of that out. And when you do, you'll find that there are a lot of sounds you're trying to reach that you do a better job of reaching now. Another is for you to we're addicted to the high pitch in this society. We're totally addicted, to the point that we like start our songs at a high volume or a high pitch, and then we try to hit those high notes later on. And the reality is, recording studios do us a huge disservice in this particular area, in that most of the times what we're hearing is an altered version of somebody's voice. The microphone is amplifying it. Certain qualities that are not as nice to hear get turned down, or certain other qualities get turned up in editing and the audio that's coming through. And then on top of that, you get to hear a song being performed multiple different times. So they are basically stopping and restarting throughout the song, because to be able to hit that chorus even just once will just ruin your vocal cords for a long time. And so to be able to realistically do like a verse and a chorus and a verse and a chorus and whatnot like at an amateur level in person without any of those breaks is just totally unreasonable. So the second trick is to start at the high pitch and find out what you can actually hit at that higher pitch. It may be that you can't hit that high pitch that well, and that's fine. Just figure out what that pitch is that you can hit, and then continue your singing into a typical verse, and figure out where you have to bring it down to in order to be able to hit that high pitch. It's going to take a lot of the strain off of your vocal cords. It's going to allow you to flow much, much smoother. And it's going to make those points stand out more, even if they aren't as over the top as you hear in, the professional recording. And you'll notice this if you watch a lot of singers perform live, they scale it back pretty considerably. So just keep that in mind, and as you work on this, like I said, it'll be a lot easier on your vocal cords. You'll be able to practice more, and the more you practice, the better your breathing, the better attuned to your vocal cords and to your capabilities you become. You will be able to hit some of those others, those other higher pitches, or if you're that kind of person, some of the lower pitches that you're not quite so able to do, and you can kind of play around with this and switch it around depending on what your abilities currently are. But that brings us to the third, and that is play. One of the most important things in the world that you can do when you're trying to figure out how to sing is to really play. And the reason why that is so important is because twofold. One, I wouldn't have been able to come up with these helpful rules had I not played around enough. And then two is because it takes you outside of what you're used to doing. It takes you outside of trying to imitate someone else in the way that they sang a song. And it allows you to explore some really fascinating options. I have a version of Breaking Through by The Wreckage, and it's like hard rock song. I've come up with a version that sounds more like Whitney Houston style. And I've also come up with a version of Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio that is more operatic. I really like that second one, and I'll probably make a recording of that at some point. But it's really, really useful in figuring out things like there's Brother My Brother by Blessed Union of Souls. Some of you from the 90s may remember this for an obvious reason, but they have one part in the first verse where they're like, "We watch our world fall apart," and it goes so high, I cannot even begin to reach that. But one of the things that I realized playing was that you don't have to go high pitch in order to make a particular part of the song really stand out. You can go low. We watch our world fall apart. You can go into somber reverence versus high intensity emotional, just belting. And that's helped me out a ton. But anyways, I'm gonna call it for this video. Try those tips out, and I'm sure your singing will get a lot better real quick. Bye.